Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Welcome back to another Hoagie Boy MMA Yap Sesh Predictions, the show where I give my takes and yap about these fights on the pay-per-view card, UFC 330, and do no tape study, and yeah, pull shit out my ass. All right, don't take my advice to bet; it's a bad idea. But yeah, we got UFC 330, Makhachev versus Machado, Garry, dude, very top heavy card if I do say so myself. Actually, the only fucking fight that's kind of worth it on this fight, this fight card. We got Mackenzie Dern, Jillian Robertson in the co-main. The only other, I guess, ranked fight, which is, it's a championship fight. Charles Johnson, Jose Choa, Mansour Abdul Malik, Dustin Stolfus. I mean, we got some good names. Edison Barboza, Esteban Rivers, Joel Alvarez, Gideon Jacani. These guys are names, right? But they're not top 10 names. And that's what this card is missing, dude. This feels kind of like a fight night that they'd put in, like, I don't know, some random ass place like Tennessee, I don't know. But yeah, dude, very top heavy. Islam Makhachev, Ian Machado, Garry. That's what we're all here for. But I don't think it's gonna be a terrible card. I just think there's no name value, but it's gonna be a fun night of fights, I believe. Yeah, dude, we're being fed slop in the undercards by Paramount, UFC, whatever. Yeah, it's no longer pay-per-view, so they don't gotta put on good fights anymore. But yeah, okay, let's start with Jeremiah Wells versus Makhachev or Blood, the caveman, guys. People forget, man. People forget. He was in Ice Age. It's the first one where Manny, what was the other guy's name? Sid the Sloth and Kevin, or whatever the mammoth was called. But yeah, Orblai, dude, he's got a lot of experience. He's got in the UFC already. He's really good at wrestling. He's not bad on the feet, but obviously he's gonna get it done on the ground against Jeremiah Wells like he does against everybody. Makhachev Orblai, recently got a dub against Chris Curtis, a unanimous decision. He just dominated Curtis on the ground, and sometimes even on the feet. Against Jackson Hermanson, he knocked him out with an overhand right. Tafik Masfayev, that W is, getting better as time goes on. Masfayev is actually not too terrible. Elvis Renner or Medic, that's actually a really, really well-aged W for him. Or Medic's doing big things in the UFC. But yeah, dude, Orblai is he's a contender, I think. He's a future contender. They just got to give him some ranked fights at welterweight. Ugh! He's young, 28 years old, 5'10", 74-inch reach. He's pretty good. I feel like he's a bit small for welterweight. Should have stayed at lightweight, but he's at welterweight. And he's going up against Jeremiah Wells, who is pretty old, 39 years of age. Recent win against Thamba Garimbo, who is not that good. Has been on a losing streak. Before that, lost against Max Griffin in a split decision. Old man Max Griffin. And Carlston Harris, a guy who is 19-8, he's not really that good. Did beat Matthew Semmelsberger and Corey McGee, but that was 3 years ago. Yeah, dude, Jeremiah Wells is just going to get dominated by Makhachev Orblai on the ground. Orblai can get this done wherever he wants. Take him down, get the rear naked. Ground and pound. Maybe he can even catch Jeremiah Wells on the feet. But my prediction for this fight is going to be Orblai by rear naked in the first round. All right. Next we got Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. This one's a tricky, man. This one's a tricky test, man. Ramiz Brahimaj just came off an L against Punahele Soriano. Punahele Soriano is actually not too bad. He's not too bad. He's doing pretty good. doing pretty good at the welterweight division for himself. And before that, he beat Austin Vanderford, which at the time I thought was pretty impressive, but it turns out Austin is kind of not that good. Beat Billy Ray Golf, who just recently lost against Ty Miller. Beat Mickey Gall. It's not really saying anything. He lost to Themba Gorimbo, which is aging like a bag of milk. That is a terrible loss. Lost against Court McGee. Yeah. Dude, Ramirez isn't bad. He isn't bad. I just think he's kind of mid. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. He's got really good submission game. He's got 12 wins by submission, 1 by KO. So obviously he's going to look to get this on the ground and snatch up the neck of Neil Magny. Can't believe I forgot his name. But, dude, he just lost against some real bad competition. I ain't going to lie. Like, I know it was, the loss to Themba Gorimbo was 2. Dude, that's not even that long ago. But, I don't know, dude. People were kind of hyping up Ramirez on his fight going into the Pulejano Siriano. You know, he's gotten better. You know, his jiu-jitsu is really good. But to be honest, he's only really beaten Mickey Gall and Billy Ray Golf, and then Austin Vanderford. That fight, I don't know, dude. Those are kind of bums, if I'm gonna be honest. And Neil Magny is a crafty veteran, dude. He is an unk, dude. He's been there, done that, beaten prospects, really good prospects that, we thought, would probably beat up on Neil Magny. But, dude, I just don't think Ramiz Brahimaj is on the level of, let's say, Yaroslav Amosov, Carlos Pratis, Michael Morales, Ian Machado. Like, dude, he's only lost against these names, and these guys are in, the top 5. Look at the fucking murderous road this guy's been through. Gilbert Burns, again, Garry, Morales, Amosov, dude. Neil Magny, I do not believe he's going to lose against Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz Brahimaj is he's just so mid, man. And Neil Magny is probably going to be able to do whatever he wants to Ramiz, if I'm going to be honest. Again, Neil Magny has gone against really good grapplers, especially recently in his L against Yaroslav Amosov. He did get finished in the first round, but, dude, I do not think Ramiz is on the level of Amosov. Yeah, dude, it's near evens. I think that's actually a really fair odds, dude. Because, to be honest, Neil Magny is getting old. He is getting old, but he's still really experienced, man. And I do believe he'd probably beat Ramiz on the feet. And maybe, he could ultimately maybe even, take him down, get his back, do the same thing. Choke him out. He does have 5 wins by submission. He's got a lot of wins by decision. He could, edge out a decision. But if anything, I think Neil Magny will probably win this by. I'm gonna say there's gonna be a scramble against Ramiz Brahimaj where he'll ultimately end up on his back and then land ground and pound, dude, or maybe even get a choke. But I'm gonna say Neil Magny ground and pound, second round. All right, we got Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. Rafael Tobias, he is bipolar. 23 years of age. In his recent fight, which was his first fight in the UFC, he lost against Dier Negreзе. Negreze's not too bad, if I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was kind of gonna be mid-tier or even lower than that, because he lost to Brendan Rivero and then Iran Sabaletiev. But, those guys are not terrible. They're actually, quite good. And, Dier Nergizai just recently got a finish over Bruno Lopez. So, I'm not going to say that loss is terrible, right? He's still really young. He's 20 years of age. Holy shit, dude. These guys are young. He's 20 years of age. Still got room to improve. I still think he's really green, though. And against Lucas Fernando, Lucas Fernando is 13-3, 29 years of age. Got 7 wins by KO, 2 KO, 2 wins by submission. Recent win was against Leon Suarez at LFA. 10-3 guy. Felipe Latu, 7-2. Pedro Oliveira. He's not doing too bad. He lost against Cesar Almeida, which I don't know how to feel about that one. And lost against Azamat Bekhoev, who recently lost to Trey Gore. I don't know what to think about him. I don't know what to think about him. This ain't no Dana White Contender Series where I watch tape. There's too many fights, and I'm too lazy for that. But I think he's gonna try to get this win on the feet. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, the one thing I could say about Rafael Tobias is, he finally, he knows what it's like to be in the octagon. Like I said, he is young. I think he'll probably try to get this to the ground. I think it's going to be a grappler versus striker kind of thing. He did not look good on the feet against Nurgaze. And, he's probably going to try to get a rear naked, an arm triangle, guillotine, whatever. He's going to try to get some type of submission early on against Lucas Fernando. And I think he is going to get it done, if I'm going to be honest. I think he'll be able to choke out Lucas Fernando, dude. Yeah, dude. That's about it. I'm just basing it off that. I'm going to go Rafael Tobias rear naked in the second round. But, yeah. Next up, we got Unk versus, I don't even know what to call Tresean Gore. Is he like a prospect? Is he a prospect? I mean, he's 6-4. I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of mid. But, yeah, Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore at middleweight. Vicente Luque recently got a dub over Kevin Gastelum, which I'm going to be honest, I know it's Kevin Gastelum, right? I know Kevin loses basically to anyone who's relatively good, right? But, dude, to be able to, like, choke him out when Joe Piper couldn't finish him, Sean Bird did finish him, Jerry Cannonier couldn't finish him, Robert Whitaker couldn't finish him, right? But, we are talking about KG, like current 2026 KG. He just does not give a fuck. He is fat. But I do think that's actually like not a bad win, dude. To submit KG, that's pretty impressive, I think. Before that, lost against Joel Alvarez, who completely dominated him. Kevin Holland, he got submitted by Kevin Holland, which Kevin Holland's alright. I think he's not too terrible. He got KO'd by Buckley, and yeah, dude, beat them Garimbo by submission, dude. Vicente Luque is good on the ground. If he gets this on the ground, I think it's over for Tresean Gore. But Vicente Luque, what scares me is kind of his chin. He has been in a lot of wars, and he has been knocked out, pretty badly. But I don't know, man. This one's hard because Tresean Gore, I do not know what to think about him. He recently beat Azamat Makhachev, who many thought was going to be pretty all right. In the middleweight division, but he submitted him guillotine. That was actually a pretty good war too, I think, from what I remember. They were going back and forth, but before that, lost to UFC Belgaro, but UFC Belgaro is pretty good. Yeah, Azamat Bakayev. So I think Bakayev is a pretty good one. I think it's an amazing one, to be honest. I think Bukayev's not terrible. I just think he went in there with a bad game plan against Tresean Gore. But Tresean Gore, he got it done against him. And before that, lost to Rodolfo Vieira, which is not looking too good by decision. He got knocked out by Marco Tulio, who I don't know what to think of yet. I don't think he's terrible, but we got to see a bit more fights to see if he's all right. Beat Antonio Tricoli, standing guillotine. Josh France, standing guillotine. One thing to say about Tresean Gore is he does love a guillotine. If Vicente Luque, tries to take him down or whatever, Tresean Gore will pull the ghillie. He's coming from the DP University of pulling ghillie. But this one's hard. I'm going to be honest. This one's hard. I think Vicente Luque is going to be... I think he's a better striker, but at his old age... Not old age. He's 34. Holy shit. I thought he was way older. Well, at the mileage he's on... I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like he's been in too many wars. And Tresean Gore does have power. He's pretty nasty on the feet. And, he's all right everywhere. Don't let his record deter you. He is not... he's not terrible. But, fuck, dude. I don't know. This one's hard. This one's really hard. Dude. I mean, to be fair, he's getting beaten by the likes of Joel Alvarez, Kevin Holland, Joaquin. These guys are good. They're like top 10. Or were top 10. Jeff Neal. This one's hard, dude. This one is hard. Fuck, dude! I don't know, dude. I don't know. I do think it's gonna end by finish. Dude, I'm gonna go Vicente Luque. Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna go old man, not old man, Unc Vicente Luque. Even though he's 34 years old, dude. I don't know, dude. I think he's craft. I think he's got another one in him, dude. I might, kind of regret this pick, but Vicente Luque's a dog, dude. Fuck it. Vicente Luque, third round, rear naked. I don't care. Or what was his last one? Anaconda choke. All right, Dante Johnson, Eric McConaughey. Dante Johnson recently got a dub against Cody Brundage in the split decision. That's not a good look. He is undefeated, but it's not a good look because if you're a really good middleweight, then you should be able to finish off Cody Brundage, like the likes of Cam Rouston and Bo Nickel. You should be able to finish him off, but he wasn't able to finish him off, and it was a really close decision. But yeah, dude, that kind of I don't know, that kind of made me confused on Dante Johnson and whether or not he's good. But before that, got a gilly choke against Cedric Dumas. That's not really anything to write home about. Beat Arian Abbey on the feed. James Ford, you got a TKO. Ryan Parker. There's just not enough info on this guy, right? I do not know what to think about him. And Eric McConaughey, he's kind of he's actually crafty, if I'm gonna be honest. Beat Rodolfo Vieira, which is not an amazing win, but for what we thought Eric McConaughey being like a complete can, that's actually a pretty good W, I think. Lost to Sukayev, I think Hamzat's boy, but was looking all right. He wasn't looking too bad in the first two rounds. He's actually doing all right against him. Beat Cody Brundage, which I think is actually all right. And lost to Nursultan Ruzibayev. And before that, he was 8-2-1. Yeah, this one's also kind of tricky because before that W against Cody Brundage, I probably would have said Dante Johnson by whatever he wants, but to make it close against Cody Brundage, man. McConaughey also made it close, but dude, this one is hard, dude. This one is hard. I kind of want to go McConaughey. I think he could do a crafty decision against Dante Johnson, but I will go with Dante Johnson. I'm a believe in him. He is undefeated for a reason. I do think he's still green. He's only 27 years of age. He's gonna be a lot smaller than McConaughey, but I think maybe he could probably get this done by KO. I do think maybe he could land like an overhand right or whatever, and or maybe even take him down. But I'm gonna go with Dante Johnson. But don't be surprised if this is a really close fight. Don't be surprised. But I'm gonna go Dante Johnson by decision. Jalen Turner, dude, there are a lot of like 50-50 fights on this card. I think that's the only reason I think it's not gonna be too terrible because the matchmakers cooked here in terms of just putting on fights of equal level, like fighters against equal like level. But Jalen Turner recently retired but came back and got a W against Edson Barboza, but that is old withered Edson Barboza. He's old at hell, 40 years old. Can't take a punch. This is a bit chinny now. Before that, he lost to Ignacio Bahamondes. Got triangle chokes. Ignacio's actually pretty good. I think he's like a good top 15. Lost to Renato Moicano. That one's pretty bad. I think he almost finished Moicano, but Moicano managed to survive and then get on top of what was his name? Get on top of Jalen Turner and then land a ground and pound. Before that, he knocked out Green. Which is actually a pretty good. I think that's a really good win now. Bobby Green has shown that he's not terrible. He's not like a complete, can or someone to be fed to, right? But yeah, dude, he's only really lost against really good fighters. Split Dan Hooker, split Mateusz Gamrot. This was 3 years ago. I think Mateusz Gamrot was pretty good. Was way better back then than he is now. But who knows? But This is a dangerous fight for Kawhi Fernandez. But Kawhi Fernandez recently got it done against Harry Hardwick. No legs Hardwick got it done, but Hardwick is kind of he's not that good. Took it on short notice, I believe. Beat Garam Kutateladze by unanimous decision. Garam's, I don't know, man. Garam, I thought he was gonna be something, but it turns out he was just not. I don't know. He just doesn't have it, right? And then beat Muhammad Yahya, who again is not too amazing. Lost against Mark DeCasey. That's actually kind of crazy, losing against DeCasey by split. That was 3 years ago, to be fair, but Kai Fernandez is good. He's got pretty good leg kicks. He's got 6 wins by KO, 2 wins by decision. I think this is going to be a striking fight. But will he be able to do it against gigantic Jalen Turner weight bully, right? 6'3". Jalen Turner is going to be really huge. I do think he's a bit... I don't know if he's chinny. I don't think he's chinny, right? He does cut a lot of weight, so that's kind of concern. But Jalen Turner, or the Tarantula, call him that for a reason. He's pretty good, dude. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu. He's got really good submissions. He's got power on the feet. 11 wins by KO. And was able to knock out King Green, Edson Barboza. Was able to get a guillotine against Bradley Riddell. I do think he could pull a guillotine against Kyle Fernandez. Who knows? But Jalen Turner, he's dangerous, dude. He's dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the ground. Kyle Fernandez does got pretty alright striking, but I don't know. I just think Jalen Turner is just super huge. He's got way more power, I think. He could probably get Kawhi Fernandez back. But I'm going to go Jalen Turner by KO in the second round. Yeah, that's about it. 50-50 fight. Chidi Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez. Chidi Njokuani, dude. He was my boy at one time. I do think he's pretty sick. He has been in some pretty sick fights against Carlos Leal. He was able to survive against him. Jake Matthews, he got dominated in that one. Alexei Zalexi dos Santos. That was a pretty sick fight. Beat Jerry Gooden, Reese McKee. Lost to Mikhail Oleszejczyk, Oliver Darayo, Gregory Rodriguez. Those aren't two terrible losses, but I do think Chidi Njokuani does sometimes crumble under pressure, and Joel Alvarez is really, he's really good. He's really good on the feet. I think he's dangerous on the feet, but he's got really good jiu-jitsu, dude. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. 17 wins by submission, 5 wins by KO, TKO. I think he's dangerous, dude. I think he's dangerous. He's gotten a flying knee against Ricardo Close. Knees to the ground. Knees and ground and pound to Elvis Renner. Darce choked Mark DeCasey. He's good. He's good. But the only problem with Joel Alvarez is he's really bad against wrestlers like All-American or caucus fighters, caucus wrestlers, yeah, he just gets taken down a lot, right? Against wrestlers, but I do not think Chidi is that guy. I do think he's gonna get chinned by Joel Alvarez. He maybe could get taken down by Joel Alvarez, get his back taken, get a Darce choke, rear naked, whatever. And Chidi, I just don't think he has it anymore. He's pretty old, 37 years of age, 33 years old for Joel Alvarez. I still think he's huge too. They're both gonna be the same height, but I just think Joel's going to be a lot better, dude. I think he's going to be a lot better, and I think he'll probably knock out Chidi on the ground by ground and pound. And I'm going to say in the third round. Next we got is Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovics. Yeah, they're just feeding Unk to Esteban. Edson, damn, dude. He was one of my favorite fighters. Recently got knocked out by Jalen Turner. Jakar Close got decisioned. Lauren Murphy got decisioned. Beat Sadiq Youssef, but that was 3 years ago, dude, and he's just not the same. Beat Billy Quintillo. Yeah, he's just not the same anymore, man. He's still dangerous, I do think. He's still quick. He's still fast. He's got pretty good boxing, but obviously his kicks are going to be the most dangerous part of this. But Esteban Ribovics, he's young. He's 30 years of age. Recently lost against Mateusz Gamrot. He didn't look too good against Mateusz, but Gamrot's good. He's really good. No one, top 10 is really hard to get into, right? And I don't think Esteban's terrible for losing to him, but I do think I don't think he's gonna be top 10, but maybe a top 15 fighter, right? Beat Elvis Brenner before that. Lost to Nasron Hakras by split decision, which is kind of I don't know. Beat Denzel Huber, but everyone's beating Denzel Huber. Terrence McKinney again, kind of a 50-50 fighter, right? But I do think Esteban Ribic is I do think he's good. I do think he's good. He's got hands. He got 7 wins by KO, 5 wins by submission. So he could probably take down Edson Barboza if he wants to, but I do think Esteban Rivers is going to get it done on the feet. I just think he's going to be a lot quicker. He's going to be, he's way younger. He's more fresh. Edson Barboza, 8 months ago got KO'd, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't believe in Edson Barboza, dude. I don't believe in him anymore, and I think Esteban gets it done by KO. I don't know, second round. He lands like an overhand right or something, a hook. Yeah, that's about it. Mansour Abdullah Malik versus Dustin Stolfish. What is this doing so high up in the card? Mansour recently lost against Yusri Belgaray. That was, I think it was an alright fight, but I think Yusri was doing way more. I think he was kind of dominating him a little. For that, beat Antonio Tricoli by standing guillotine. Beat Nick Klein by strikes against the cage. Duxkor Todorovic with Schultz beat him in the contender series. Mansour is dangerous. He's dangerous on the feet. He's got, he does have submissions in his toolkit, but I think he's just gonna knock out Dustin Stolfish. I'm gonna be honest. Dustin Stolfish recently lost against Kevin Gastelum, Sultan Reservea, Marc-Andre Barriou. He beat him by ground and pound. Lost to Bruno Ferreira. He lost against GM3, the legendary GM3, dude. Yeah, dude. Dustin is just kind of he's not mid, dude. He's just worse than mid. He's not good. He's not good at all, and Matzo is probably gonna get this done by KO in the first round, probably overhand right. He maybe could put him in a guillotine, but who knows? But yeah, dude, I'm gonna go Mansour by KO in the first round. All right, Charles Johnson versus Jose Ochoa. Charles Johnson, man, the guy that beats champions, or what would be confused with champions. Recently lost against Asu Almabaya by a Siliev stretch. For that, beat Bruno Silva in a split. Before that, lost against Alex Perez by a left hook. Beat Loner Kavanaugh, which is a pretty good dub. Lost to Ramazan Temura. Beat him with Reggie. Everyone remembers that uppercut he landed on Joshua Van. That was 2 years ago, though. But yeah, dude, Charles Johnson, he's not bad. He's kind of a gatekeeper. And if you're not ready to bring it against Charles Johnson, he will probably, he could have, finish you off, dude. I'm gonna be honest, finish you off. I still think he's a dangerous at 35 years old. He's 5'9". He's pretty big for the division. Flyweight. Yeah, he's got good hands. He's got good jiu-jitsu. I think. Now, he's mostly a striker, right? He does wrestle. He can wrestle if he needs to, which is where he gets his submissions. Has 8 wins by decision. Mostly a decision kind of guy, but he's dangerous on the feet. But Jose Ochoa, 7 wins by KO, 1 win by submission, 1 win by decision. Recently beat Clayton Carpenter, who is not bad. I don't think he's terrible. Lost against Asil Maibaya, but Asu is doing not too bad, right? He's got on a 3-fight win streak. Beat Charles Johnson. Lost against Manel Cap. Beat Cody Durden. Lost against Loner Kavanaugh. That's not a bad loss. That was 2 years ago. That was when he was 23. But yeah, dude, Jose Ochoa has been getting better and better as each fight has gone on. I do think he's got really good. He's got really good boxing. He's sharp on the feet, good straights, good jabs, whatnot. Good. I think he's also got leg kicks. I don't remember, but yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to go with Jose Ochoa. Probably by decision. I think he could maybe KO Charles Johnson, but I don't think so. I think Jose Ochoa is actually, pretty good. And Charles Johnson, Again, I know I did say he's dangerous, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I think Jose Choa beats Alex Perez. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I'm going Jose Choa by decision. Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson, dude. A couple baddies we got here fighting for the belt. Mackenzie Dern, who recently beat Verena Jandiroba for the belt. Beat her in a unanimous decision. Mostly by striking, if I remember. Beat Amanda Ribas by armbar. Beat Lupita Godinez before lost against Amanda Lemos. Jessica Andrade got knocked out by her. Beat Angela Hill. Dude, Mackenzie Dern, dude. She wouldn't be champ if it was my queen. What was her name? Weili Zhang. If she was here, she would get absolutely destroyed by Weili. But since she's gone, the belt is pretty much up for grabs by anyone who is who's at least good enough, right? Can land good strikes. But Mackenzie Dern, I think this is basically a BJJ versus BJJ. Both these women are mainly BJJ practitioners. Mackenzie Dern, her last fight didn't look too bad on the feet, though. She does have pretty alright striking. Jillian Robertson, recently beat Amanda Lemos decision. Was able to take her down. She was, getting kind of hurt on the feet. Beat Marina Rodriguez by taking her down, then getting the back, and then landing punches. Beat Luana Perniero, Michelle Watterson. Her last loss was against Tabitha Ricci. That was 3 years ago, though. And JJ Aldrich, but I don't know. I don't know whose jujitsu's better than whose, right? I do think they both have pretty elite level of jujitsu. This could be a jujitsu battle, but this could ultimately, their jujitsu might even itself out, and this could be a striking battle. And I think Mackenzie Dern is pretty good, all right on the feet. And, she could probably get a pretty crafty decision against Jalen Robertson. But, I don't know, dude. Mackenzie Dern is not, I'll be honest, she is not, she's not on the level, let's say, of Weili Zhang, Rose Namajunas when she was actually good. The short Brazilian chick, forgot her name. Jessica Andrade. I just do not think she's on the level that they are, right? To be able to be like a super dominating champ. I think anyone maybe in the top 5 could probably be Mackenzie Dern, but I don't know. What do I know? But I'm gonna go to the Robinson. Fuck it. I think maybe she might surprise us with her jiu-jitsu. You never know, man. You never know. But honestly, this could go either way. I'll be honest. But I'm gonna go with Jillian Robertson. I'm gonna just say I don't know. She's been on a really long win streak. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak. Hasn't lost since 2023. Mackenzie Dern recently lost against 2 years ago, almost 3 against Amanda Lemos. But I don't know. I mean, she beat Brianna Jandiroba, who's old now, but she was all right. Amanda Ribas, not that good. Lupita Godinez is pretty good on the feet, but she's really terrible on the ground. I'm gonna go with Jillian Robinson. Fuck it. She's gonna get it done. She's gonna choke out Mackenzie Dern's fine ass on the 3rd round by rear naked. I don't care. Whatever. Okay, finally! The main event of the evening, dude. Super high tier fight. After we get through all that garbage in the undercard, we get, this diamond, dude. A once in a lifetime fight. Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado. The cook, Garry. People forget, man. Ian Machado, Garry might pull out the chair, sit in the corner, man. But Islam Makhachev, Ian Machado, Garry. What's there to say? Khabib vs. Conor 2.0. The soy version, but Islam Makhachev, dude. What's to say about him? Great grappling, great wrestling, domination. His striking has been getting better as the fights have been going on, dude. He had against Dustin Poirier, man, he was doing all right on the feet. He's got pretty good kicks, head kicks, leg kicks. Beat JDM, dominated him. It was a snooze fest. Kind of, wet blanketed him. They didn't really risk it, but it was for the belt. So I guess. And JDM is really good, dude. He is really good. Even though he's been getting finished. He got finished by Carlos Prates recently, but people are kind of shitting on JDM. But that's a really good win, and to do that against JDM, I think is pretty impressive. What else did he lose to? Oh no, yeah. But yeah, dude, beat Alexander Volkanovski by head kick. It was I was on sort of noticed. Beat him the first time, pretty unanimous. Dominated Charles Oliveira on the ground, basically just triangle choked him, or arm triangle. Beat up King Green, then hook it. Dude, like Islam is super good on the ground. We all know that. The wrestling is gonna be the main problem for Ian Garry. Will he be able to defend the takedowns, right? Or most importantly, will he be able to get up, not crumble under the pressure and get back up and, keep this fight standing, right? Because, as good as Islam Makhachev is on the feet, he is improving. I do not think he is better than Ian Machado Garry on the feet, right? Obviously, right? But who knows? Maybe who knows, right? But Ian Garry is such a good striker, dude. He is a really good striker. Beat Bilal Muhammad on the feet, was able to not get taken down by him, but Bilal Muhammad is old. But, Bilal, not too long ago, was the champ, dude. He was the champ like a year ago. Beat Carlos Prates on the feet, dude. He just basically did whatever he wanted on the feet. He so good around. His karate style, landed jabs, landed some good kicks. Basically just kind of point fighter. He's a really good point fighter. Beat Carlos Prates. I know he did get kind of knocked down in the 5th round, and he almost did get finished. I do think a rematch with Carlos Prates will be a bit more dangerous now that Carlos knows what to expect. A loss against Shavkat Rakhmonov, who I think would have been champion, dude. I think he would have been a real bad test for Islam, right? But sadly, his knees have been really bad. He's been in injury, recently been in I think in a divorce. His father recently passed away. Rest in peace. He's been through the ringer, man. Life has thrown the fucking fridge at him, dude. Feel bad for him, but hopefully he is back and he's still as good as he was when he left. But who knows, man? An injury like that, you never know. But lost. He did lose by unanimous decision to Shavkat, but he did have some pretty good highlights in the fight. Right, he was doing pretty good on the striking. Was able to get Rakhmonov's back. Looked all right in the grappling aspect, to be fair. Beat MVP by basically kind of smothering him. Yeah, dude, all around, Ian Machado Garry's really good on the feet. He's going to look to circle around, be quick on his feet, in and out, jab, kicks, leg kicks, fast head kicks, right? Circle around, point fight, basically. Ian Machado is a point fighter. He's super quick. He's got that karate style. I do not think he will finish Islam Makhachev. If he does, that would be crazy, dude. Losing to a vegan cut, dude, that'd be crazy if Islam gets knocked out by Garry. But I don't think that's gonna happen. If anything, it will either be an Islam Makhachev masterclass on the ground, take him down, choke him out, or maybe smother him like he did against JDM and get the decision. If anyone's gonna do the finishing, it's gonna be Islam Makhachev, right? By a choke, or who knows, whatever. Or an Ian Machado Garry decision, dude. That's the only way I think he can win. He's not gonna knock out Islam, dude. He's not gonna knock out, dude. But Ian is young. He's 28. He's huge, 6'3". He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. He does normally have the shorter reach, I think. But Islam, coming from lightweight, he's gonna have almost 5-inch reach disadvantage, dude, and I think that's gonna be really useful. And Ian Garry knows how to use distance. He knows how to go in and out. Get his jabs in, get a couple hooks, whatever, whatnot. Get some good kicks. He's really quick with it. Again, the only time he's been tested in wrestling was against Shavkat, and I think Shavkat's really good. But I don't think Shavkat is on the level of wrestling grappling as Islam Makhachev. I do think Islam's gonna be able to take down Garry, but will he be able to keep him there? Right? Will he be able to keep him there? Stop Ian Garry from trying to get up. He's gonna be throwing some submissions. He's gonna do the Dagestani handcuff. He's gonna lock up his feet. I do think he's gonna be able to do that. But I'm gonna go crazy. I'm going a little crazy here with my decision. I think Ian Garry gets it done by boring decision point fighting, dude. I do think he's good enough to just maybe avoid some of the takedowns, get up, dude. He is pretty big. 6'3" again, big reach advantage. He's gonna be way more quicker than Islam. Yeah, dude. For some reason, I believe Islam is gonna come in. Dagestanis really, get put through the ringer in their fight camps, man. They go hard. They go hard in the wrestling, and they usually come in with an injury or something, or they get sick or whatever. Like that one time he got sick. Apparently, he got sick against Dustin Poirier, which was a pretty competitive fight against Dustin Poirier, who was pretty old at the time. And I think, I don't know, man. I don't know. He has had 8 months, though. He has had 8 months to game plan and whatnot, but fuck it, dude. Fuck it. He's tied with Anderson Silva, and I don't know. I feel like the MMA gods are going to give us this one. They're going to give this one. We're going to have a soy cuck vegan champion, dude. Fuck it. Ian Machado Garry by decision. He gets it done by just point fighting. Yeah. Might be split, to be honest. Might be split, but who knows? Who knows? But I got Ian Machado Garry. But yeah, dude, I'm really looking forward to the main event. There will be a couple fun fights, but yeah, it's pretty interesting main event. Shit card though all around. What do we got next week? Anthony Hernandez, Garry Rodriguez. I mean, that's an alright main event. We are gonna see RDR. We're gonna see okay, no, actually, Shamil Ghazi at the blob, guys. We forget, man. After that, we have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong. Interesting fight, but it's alright, I think. We're going to get Saladin Pernas versus Dan Hooker. Interesting. And then Yari Rodriguez versus Gene Silva. We got that next month on the 12th. And then we get UFC 331. It's going to be an absolute banger. We're going to have to wait a month, though, so a month and change. But yeah, that's about it. And hold up.